Hello friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Blades of Exile. I am on the save file where I'm not spending a day poking around the worm pit, but I will continue to explore the domain of Morog. And we shall see if those undead catch up with me. Here's a prominent corpse. This cavern has many bone chips littering the ground, but this is the first full-sized body you found. It looks like it's been here for some time, but the specters have sucked it so dry that it didn't rot. All of its belongings were stripped away by the undead. However, it still has a closed leather satchel at its belt. You find a journal inside. Apparently, this body was once the physical form of a man named Corrido. He came into the za-khazi run to search for a lost mine filled with opals of the highest quality. The last entry is of interest. The passage to the mines is just to the north. It is supposed to be then off to the east, and then down through rough territory. The mist beings have my trail, though. I will have to hurry. I'm sure I can afford a little sleep. Then I will be off again, and soon the wealth will be mine. Well, that apparently did not work out well for him. Okay, apparently the realm of Morog extends for quite a ways. This tunnel is claimed for the Empire. Anyone trying to steal what is ours will be destroyed. Huh. Well, that sounds like a distraction. But also, what is the Empire doing all the way down here? The entrance to this narrow valley is marked by a long row of very grisly trophies. They're dead humans. Some wear the uniforms of exile armor. Some are dressed like travelers. All have been hanging here for some time. A sign under one of the bodies gives you an idea of who is responsible for this crime. It reads, "Death to all exiles," and has the family seal of Emperor Hawthorne. Hawthorne was a foe of exile before he was assassinated. That would mean that some of these totems were made decades ago. However, some of them are clearly much newer than that. Very odd. Reminds me of that one island in the Pacific where Japanese troops continued fighting World War II for decades. Okay, monsters fled, monsters fled. You finally leave the grim, undead-filled cavern with its rubble, bones, and stench. It's as if a constant heavy weight has been lifted from your shoulders. So it is entirely possible to go through Morog's realm without dealing with Morog at all. You detect a peculiar smell in the air. It's sickly sweet, like slightly old fruit. It makes you feel very happy and pleasant, and somewhat lightheaded. The farther north you walk, the stronger the smell gets. As you walk through these mushrooms, clouds of grey spores rise from them. Inhaling them makes you feel very drowsy. You wobble for a bit and then fall over. You wake up a few hours later. More time has been lost. Oh. Cavern of Poppy Shrooms, so named because they make you fall asleep. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. World Edge. A gazer and an eye beast, enemies that will not run from me. Oh boy. Let's see if I can end this quickly. Eye beast resists, and the gazer is apparently out of range. However, Fluttershy can also cast Simulacrum. Oh, right, gotta pick one first. Even if I only have one to choose. That's one down. Yay! And a shield and helmet that I'm not all that interested in. Do I want to explore this little bit up here? Oh, some of the rubble is heavy and takes a while to pass. May need to be careful about walking through large piles of it. And there's a large chasm here. Great. Do I have the flight spell? Yes, I do. Is it enough to get me over the chasm? No, it is not. Phooey. As you walk out of this tunnel, you notice that someone has etched into the side of a boulder the words, "Look up." You look up and see several red creatures floating about you. You look around and see another boulder farther down, which reads, "Leave money." It would appear that if you left some gold, they would leave you alone. Maybe. You back away. Maybe there's another way out of this. Not that interested in another fight right now. You put a pile of cash on the ground and back away. The creatures swoop down, pass over the treasure, rise back up, and fly away. You're a bit poorer, but still alive. Okay, now that I have a better idea of how far down that tunnel goes... Yaha! Still some chasm, but a little less on this side. Yeah, the flight spell is definitely inferior to the Orb of Thralny, but we're not getting the Orb of Thralny in this scenario, I'm pretty sure. On this small, remote ledge, you find a tunnel leading into the rock wall. It's very quiet, and there's no sign of anything walking in or out. Anything walking. But floating is not out of the question. You come across the lair of some sort of vicious, carnivorous creatures. Fortunately, the owners are currently absent. There's some gold around, and you see a nice helmet as well. You quickly collect the treasure and leave the lair. You manage to get away without running into the owners. Mwahaha! So I don't think you can get that without having flight. Let me see. Okay, right near the edge of this, so... Let me save myself a little bit of time and money here. And then let me backtrack some more. Oh, it's not just the big piles, it's some of the small piles too. So let's see what happens if I trigger this without encountering the gators at all. Sweet. So I might not be able to talk quite as much if I'm concentrating on not stepping into too much rubble and swamp. Because thoroughly exploring this area is totally worth it, of course. When you arrived at Fort Goodling, you were told that they estimated you had 3 weeks until Fort Cavalier fell. Half of that time has elapsed. Not quite half, but eh. Okay, big spire of rock, which apparently is the fortress of Morog. You are at the south end of a steep path up to the top of a plateau. Whoever was at the top of the plateau would have a panoramic view of the whole cavern to the south. Of course, why anyone would walk to look at that mess is beyond you. To see poor pitiful mortals approaching, of course. Why else? Morog's Castle. What, no introductory text here? There it is. You stand at the entrance to Morog's throne room. She has constructed a magnificent palace, with this enormous, gleaming marble hall as its centerpiece. The throne room was constructed over a natural caldera. Bubbling pits of hot mud keep the room intensely hot, and the sulphurous steam makes you faint. The ceiling glows, keeping the chamber well lit. To the south, you see a massive throne. A small, hunched-over, skeletal shape sits in it. Even though it looks ridiculously small sitting in the huge chair, you can feel the creature's power from here. The being is a lich, one of the most powerful and feared beings in existence. Fortunately, it doesn't seem inclined to attack you. Yet. Well, given that the exits to Morog's realm include a cavern full of sleep-inducing mushrooms and apparently a tunnel occupied by vestiges of the Empire, perhaps we can get some guidance here on which way to go or how to deal with one of those? We shall see. Let's go. You've got Vanatai here. Does that mean you're a Vanatai Lich? Should we be calling you Morog Earno or some such? You come face to face with Morog the Lich. It is nothing more than a skeleton, held together in unlife by pure force of will. It radiates the heat of raw magical power. The eyes are still intact and stare at you coldly. This graphic looks like it could be good for either a skeletal lich or a Terminator type of character. The gray is good for either a bone or metallic cyborg. I am Morog, queen of these regions. Her voice is icy, cold, and loud. It has a strange, otherworldly quality, as if it is being said somewhere far away, but you can somehow still hear it. I guess as an undead, she doesn't exactly have lungs anymore. I am the mistress of my castle, and the host to all my visitors. In life, I wanted to have a vacation in exile. In unlife, I created this fortress here. The cold and dark have always appealed greatly to me. Then, when I prepared for my demise, I decided I would come here. When I saw I was to die, I began the magical preparations to keep me in unlife, with my power intact. That was, 6 centuries ago. Not long. Well, so far it sounds like Morog is in fact a humanoid, a human lich, and not Vanatai. Why she has undead Vanatai servants is a good question. Maybe they're available this deep in the caverns? Yes, unlife. The word death should seem inadequate. She laughs, a chilling, wheezy sound. It is lovely, is it not? It has many visitors. Of course, it is not wise to wander from the path. Going to any place I do not tell you is safe is unwise. I am not attacking you for now. I can make no such guarantee for my pets. Spectres are wonderful creatures, bright, loyal, lethal. Wights are strong. Spirits are good artillery. What other friends does a being need? Ghasts and quick casts, of course. These caverns are sort of a nexus for strange beings. Many travel through. Many come here to obtain my magical assistance. And some come here to get missions from me. Few humans come here. Many tunnels meet in this area. Thus, it is a natural place for unicorns, dragons, undead, and all other sorts of odd beings, like eye-beasts and gazers. She chuckles dryly. Yes, there is a dragon in these caves. More I do not wish to tell you. Okay, strange beings. As long as travelers pose no threat to me, I do not hinder those passing through my domain. Of course, sometimes my undead pets get hungry. When that happens, it is not my concern. Oh, there is much I could teach you. Alas, I do not aid humans. Apologies. She doesn't seem sincere. Of course, we do have several shops here, which you might find useful. She points at the door in the northwest corner of the throne room. Go through the portal there. There are several shops. Okay, northwest. You mentioned mission? That is a very important word for many adventurers. I thought you would never ask. There are sorts of mushrooms that are useful in magic, but are hard to reach, because they grow so far below the earth, even below Vanatai lands. I would reward you well for a few of them. Are you interested? I give you my word that if you bring me the mushrooms, I will give you an item that will be invaluable in your getting through to the north end of these caverns alive. If this interests you, I can give you information on how to get them. Okay, she doesn't respond to Vanatai. The mushrooms look ordinary, but have tiny, bright red spots. To reach the deep caverns where they can be found, I have created a portal. Once you have the prize, return to me and ask of mushrooms. I will then reward you. Leave this chamber through the southeast exit and use the portal. You will be in my laboratories. The portal leading to the deep caverns where the mushrooms can be found is there. Do not worry. I do not believe anything dangerous lives down there. Aha. Dangerous to you, maybe. Now there's a portal to who knows where. And another. And that's an exit. Okay, so the ways to explore Morog's fortress, if that is something you want to do, is to take mysterious portals. Okay, shops are to the northwest, and I think mushrooms were southeast. Okay, I'm taken to another portal. Morog's castle is more accommodating than you thought. This section contains a small town. This is a huge chamber, with a ceiling 40 feet high. Built inside it are several small shops, all of which are open for business. Morog must keep this here to service the magical travelers who pass through the run, and the beings who come to her to deal or to buy assistance. How convenient. And of course it's staffed by monsters. A small imp sits behind the counter, poring through one of a large pile of books. They are on a wide variety of topics, from poison to spellcasting to proper exercise techniques. I'm Zalat. I train people at Morog's command. Training? Oh, hot damn. I've got lots of skill points that I've been sitting on. Lots and lots. Definitely coming back to you. A scaled, smelly imp sits behind the counter. It has a pile of coins by one hand and a pile of goods by the other. I'm Proth, idiot. Like it matters. I'm here to help you, it says in a voice dripping with irony. I can identify items. You can sell me things. Or you can purchase all sorts of goods. Yeah, I'll bet. What? Missiles? Weapons? Armor? Tools? Potions? Okay, so not a miscellaneous item shop, but sells many other things. Sells medium energy potions, which are very good to have. And weak invulnerability and weak skill. Ooh. Utterly ridiculous prices, though. Yeah, I figured you weren't bright enough to figure it out on your own. 25 gold for each item. Hurry up, what do you want to know about? Yeah, considering the prices you're charging for stuff, I'm just gonna identify everything my own self. Ooh, another runed helm. Nifty. And the plate mail that I picked up is steel plate from the Giants. And I've got a steel wave blade. And a couple of rubies. I still haven't equipped that ring of free action. I haven't felt much like I need it. Unfortunately, one ring of free action will not protect my whole party from falling asleep in the poppy shrooms. It looks over your items and makes an offer for everything identified. Just as I thought. Junk. Garbage. Still, there's a few things I might be able to get a little for. I bet. I should actually use some of these magic things. Selling the steel plate, keeping the runed helm. Definitely selling poison potion. I'm not sure the basic powder is really worth keeping around anymore. I have enough healing, I can just make up for acid damage. And I'm really not carrying that much extra stuff, aside from various potions. Oh, what other manner of stuff do you sell? Ooh, magic chainmail. If I had lots more money, maybe. Although... 2 more defense and 1 more encumbrance than the magic studded I have everyone wearing right now. Iron Flail would be a slight upgrade for rarity. Probably better to spend the cash on training her in a little bit of blade skill, though. Oh, magic mace. Good source of arrows if you have lots of money. Ooh, and razor discs, too. You don't have any bolts, though. That's a little annoying. Ah, but you do have magic lockpicks, and I want some. Then I can just sell my other picks. Because the magic ones don't break. Okay, apparently the altar here does nothing. Little mess hall restaurant kind of place. A sullen imp polishes the counter of this empty inn. It looks at you with undisguised loathing. I am Vmok. Looking at you makes me very hungry. How can I help you? I would drink your blood like fine wine. You can purchase meals from us, or you can sleep in the common room for 30 gold. I can buy even more delicious worm meat. Yay! And currently have no need of inn services. That appears to be that. So we've got identify, buy, and sell, and training! Much needed training! I might edit this out if the episode length gets a little too long. We'll see. I can buy Fluttershy an extra level of priest spells, but if she doesn't already know the 4th level spells, that's only going to do me so much good. A little more strength for the carrying of stuff. A little more alchemy. Wonder if I should buy her some luck. Or some defense. Okay, rarity. You are getting basic weapon skills. And more spell points for everyone. More spell points for everyone who can cast spells. goodness, Pink Mania, you've gained a bunch of levels. So why not make you utterly terrifying? Oh yeah, I forget constantly that AJ has priest spells. Hehehe. You know what? I'm not going to cut the training after all, because I'm going to just cut the episode right here. Until next time, have a good one and take care, everybody.